Hello friends, welcome to Doubt Forum. This question is: a projectile is thrown from a point O on the ground at an angle of 45 degree from the vertical and with a speed of 5√2 meter per second. The projectile at its highest point of its trajectory splits into two equal parts. And now here what is happening? One part falls vertically down to the ground 0.5 seconds after the splitting. The other part, t seconds after the splitting, falls to the ground at a distance x meter from the point O. And the acceleration due to gravity, we can take its value as 10 meter per second squares. And in the question, we are asked to find the value of x as well as the t. As we can see that this question is based on the motion of projectile. So before we solve this question, let's understand a little bit about the projectile motion. So this is the projectile motion path. And by definition, a projectile is an object upon which the only force acting is the force of gravity. So here this yellow body is the projectile because on this body the only force acting would be the force of gravity. Initially, when a body is thrown at an angle of theta degree with the horizontal with a velocity u, it will have its two components. The first component would be in the x direction and we name it as the horizontal component. And in the y direction, its component, we name it as the vertical component. Because of this horizontal component, this body, this yellow body will move in the x direction. As we can see, suppose at time t1, the body is here, and at time 2, the body has reached the point A. So when the body has reached from this point to this point, it has traveled certain distance in the x direction as well. Similarly, when the body from this A point reaches to this point, it has again covered a linear distance in the x direction like this. And when the body moves from this point to point B, again this body has moved a horizontal distance of certain value. So this horizontal movement or the horizontal distance is taking place because of the horizontal component of this u. It has nothing to do with the vertical component. The only component which is causing this projectile to move in the x direction is the horizontal component of the velocity. Now coming to the vertical component, we can see when the object is moving forward, it is gaining certain altitude. When the body is here and it reaches to point A, it has gained certain height or altitude. Similarly, when the body moves from this point to this point, it has also gained some height in the minus y direction. So like this. Similarly, when the body reaches from this point to this point, it has moved in the minus y direction with a certain value. So basically in projectile, there is a combination of two motion. The first is which is due to the horizontal component and the second is due to the vertical component. Now during this projectile motion, we can see one thing. As the projectile, suppose this is the initial point from where the projectile starts moving. From this point, as this projectile moves, its y component starts decreasing. Because the gravity acts in the vertical direction, so gravity will try to pull this object towards the ground. So due to which this object will slow down in the vertical direction. And when it reaches the highest point, the y component of the velocity at this point would be 0. And it starts accelerating towards the ground. And when it touches the ground again, its y component would be equal to the initial y component of the velocity, but the direction would be different. Earlier, when this projectile has started its motion, its direction was in the plus y direction, but the moment it hits the ground, its y component would be in the minus y direction, but the magnitude would remain same. Moving to the x component, as we can see, throughout this motion, throughout this projectile motion, the x component of the velocity would remain constant. It will not change. The direction as well as the magnitude of the x component of the velocity will remain constant. So after knowing all this, let's draw the diagram for this question. So if this is the ground, on the ground there is a point O. Let's say this is a point O. And on this point there is a projectile thrown. So if this is a projectile, let's say this is a projectile. And we are assuming that the mass of this projectile is 2m. We are assuming its mass to be 2m because later on this object will split into two equal parts. So then the mass would become m and n. So for the simplification purpose, we are assuming that the initial mass is 2m. So this object is being projectile with a magnitude of velocity as 5 root 2, and this is making an angle of 45 with the vertical direction. This angle is 45 degree. So the horizontal component would be like this, and this angle would be 45 degree as well. So with this diagram, we can easily find the magnitude of horizontal as well as vertical velocities. Horizontal velocity would be 5 root 2 into cos theta, and the theta is 45 degree. So its value would be 5 meter per second. Similarly, the magnitude of the vertical component of velocity would be 5 root 2 sine theta, and the value of theta is 45. So its value would become 5 meter per second. So the horizontal as well as the vertical velocities have the magnitude of 5 meter per second. It is given in the question that when this projectile is at its highest point, so suppose this is its highest point. At this point, this projectile is splits into two equal parts. So the significance of this highest point is that at the highest point, the vertical component of the velocity would become 0, and it will only have the horizontal component. So at this highest point, the magnitude of the horizontal component of velocity would be 5 meter per second, but the velocity component in the vertical direction or the y direction would be 0. So this would be 5 meter per second in the x direction. So this is the highest point of the projectile, and we know that this highest point is being achieved by this projectile due to the presence of this vertical component of the velocity. So its altitude, whatever its value is, we don't know right now, has been achieved due to the presence of its vertical component of the velocity. So let's say the total height achieved by this projectile is h. And if we want to calculate the value of h, what we will be doing here, we will simply apply the third law of motion, and that third law is v square is equals to u square minus 2 times of g into h. So this is the y components. So the y components of the velocity at highest point is 0. So the final velocity would become 0. So u is the initial velocity in the y direction, and its value is 5. So this would be 5 square minus 2 times of g, its value is 10 into h. So from here, the value of h would come out to be 25 divided by 20 or 5 by 4, and its value would be 1.25 meter. So this is the first outcome, that the total height achieved by this projectile is 1.25 meter. And this height is achieved due to the presence of this velocity alone. The second thing which we can calculate, that how much time it has taken to achieve this maximum peak. So for that, what we can do? We can simply apply the first law of motion, that is the final velocity is equals to the initial velocity minus g into t. So here the vertical component of the velocity at its highest point is 0. Initial velocity in the y direction is 5 meter per second minus the value of g is 10 into t. So the value of t comes out to be 5 by 10 or 0.5 second. So this projectile has taken 0.5 second to reach its maximum peak. So let's say the value is t1. Its value is 0.5 second. So in 0.5 second, this projectile has reached this point in which it has traveled 1.2 meter in the y direction. But the second thing is that this projectile has also moved in the x direction. So this much distance in the x direction is being covered by the projectile in 0.5 second. Now what we can do, that we can find this distance in the x direction, because the x component of the velocity is 5 meter per second and the time taken is the 0.5 second. So easily we can calculate this distance. Let's say the value is d, and the formula for distance is velocity into time. The velocity in the x direction is 5 meter per second and the time is 0.5 seconds. So its value would come out to be 2.5 meters. So this distance is 2.5 meters. So this scenario is before the splitting takes place. Now coming to the second part, this projectile has been splitted into two equal parts. So the mass of each part would be m. So at this point, what we can do, we can simply apply the law of conservation of momentum just to find out what would be the velocities of the particles after the splitting. Before we apply the law of conservation of momentum at this point, we have to keep in mind that this projectile is at its peak. it means that the y component of the velocity would be 0. So there would be no momentum in the y direction before the splitting. So after this splitting, the momentum in the y direction would be 0. So the only thing which we had to calculate here is the momentum in the x direction, because at the peak, the y component of the velocity is 0. And when the velocity component is 0, so the momentum in that direction would be 0. So let's apply the law of conservation of momentum. So here what is happening? Sigma p I, that is the initial, in the x direction would be equal to sigma p final in the x direction. So before splitting, what is happening? The total mass was 2m and the velocity was in the x direction only, and its value is 5 meter per second. So this is the total momentum before the splitting. And after splitting, what is happening? One part is falling vertically downwards, and because it is falling vertically downwards, the x component is 0. So here what we can see that the first mass, which is falling vertically downward, has 0 velocity in the x direction. Now the second part, the mass is m, and its velocity is unknown to us. So we have to find out that velocity. So let's say this is the velocity, but this velocity is in the x direction. So from here, what we can see that this value would become 5 into 2m is nothing but the 10m. And this would be equal to, this part would be 0. And this part would be m into vx. So here this velocity vx is the velocity of one part of the body. So from here the Vx would be m and m gets cancelled. So the value of Vx would be 10 meter per second. So this is the velocity of this particle m in the x direction, and its value is 10 meter per second. So here we can see that one part is moving freely in the downward direction and it takes 0.5 seconds to reach the ground. It is given in the question. And the another part which is moving with a horizontal velocity of 10 meter per second, at the same time it has 0 velocity in the vertical direction. So both the particle will reach the ground at the same time, because the vertical velocity of this part as well as this part is same and its value is 0. Because the vertical velocity is 0 for both the particle, which causes the motion in the vertical direction. So the time taken by both the bodies to reach the ground would be same. However, the path traveled by both the particle would be different. For this particle, the path would be like this, vertically downwards. But for this particle, the path would be something like this. So the time taken for this is being given to us. So the time taken by this particle to reach the ground would also be the same. The second thing which we have to find is that how much distance will this particle travel before it hits the ground. So this is the horizontal distance covered by this particle. So we have to find its value as well. So it is very, very easy to find its value, because what is happening here, this particle is moving with 10 meter per second in the horizontal direction, and it takes 0.5 seconds to reach the ground. So the distance, and let's say this was d1 distance, and let's say assume this is d2. So this was d1. So d2 distance would be velocity into time. Again, velocity into time. Here the velocity is 10 meter per second. So it's 10 into the time taken is 0.5 second. So the value of distance traveled in the x direction would come out to be 5 meters. So this d2 would be 5 meters. So from here we can find the total distance from O to this point. So this total distance would be 5 plus 2.5, that is 7.5. So the value of x, which we are asked to find, would be 7.5 meters. However, the value of t would remain 0.5. And why? Because it is being given that the one part which was falling vertically downward to the ground takes 0.5 seconds to reach the ground. If this particle is taking 0.5 seconds to reach the ground, this particle would also take the same amount of time, because the vertical velocity for both the particle is same and its value is 0. So thank you for watching. If you still have any doubt, please let me know in the comment section. We will definitely try to solve that, and see you in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye bye.